Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be the first in an ongoing series that I'm going to do for women who have downturned, hooded, deep set eyes or small eyes. I have some combination of all of those. And for 20 something years, ever since I can remember, I have been working with my eye shape to help make them look more lifted, more wide set, bigger, more awake. And it may not always look like I have hooded or downturned eyes because I have makeup on and I have tweaked things to make my eye shape work for me. But I do. And every day I use some kind of aligning technique to help make that outer corner a little more lifted. And I feel like this is a challenge that so many women face. In real life, I have been asked so many times how I do my eye makeup or how I line my eyes, and you guys have asked me that plenty of times. So I'm just going to start this series. I'm not claiming to be the first and foremost expert on it. I just know what I do on a daily basis in real life. One day on Snapchat, I asked you guys if you wanted to see a technique that I had been using that was fairly quick and easy to do in the mornings. And it was pretty split as to whether you wanted me to do a get ready with me or a dedicated eye video. So I'm taking that opportunity to use it as a launching pad for this series. This video is going to be using these two brushes to line, and you could use one, you could use the other, or you could use both. I've just been using both. I find it very quick and easy. I'm using a push liner flat brush like this and an angled liner brush. That's what we're doing today, and using a shadow. And if you want to know how to get this overall face look, you can check out my Get Ready With Me. But today we're going to be lining with these brushes in this first video in this ongoing series. Okay, every day that I do this is really quick to do, and of course today I'll probably do it and I'll mess it up or something will happen, but you know, that's just what happens. So take whatever shadow that you want to use. I am using Galapagos by NARS today, and take your flat push liner brush. I'm using the Laura Mercier flat eyeliner brush, and you're just going to dip it in your shadow, either wet or dry. Today I'm going to go kind of damp by just barely dipping it into Fix Plus sprayed lightly on a towel. You can put it in a dish, you can put it in your hand, you can use water, you can use spit, you can use whatever you want to use, or you can use it dry, doesn't matter. I'm fixing my lighting really quick, hold on. I have some cloud cover that keeps going in and out, so I'm hoping this stays okay. So I'm just kind of dipping my brush in, tapping off the excess so it doesn't get everywhere because I've already done the rest of my face. The first thing you want to do is look straight into your mirror, absolutely straight into your mirror. If you look anywhere else, it's going to completely mess up the line that you're trying to create, because you want to include any folds or creases, and that's how your line is going to be okay. So what I've been doing is just taking my brush, and I'm imagining that this lower lash line is just continuing up to my brow or off into infinity. And I am just going to stamp this brush or my angled brush. You can use the flat side of whatever brush you want to, looking straight into my mirror, and you can see I've got kind of a little line here and a little line here, and I'm just going to stamp it as if this line is continuing up that way, right there. And it's kind of hard on deep set eyes that kind of have that round curve like I do, because you kind of have to dig it in there, but you can get it. So just stamp it, and if it doesn't look perfect, that's okay. It's not going to look perfect. And okay, so you can see when I close my eyes, that line is there, and there may be a gap, and when you close your eyes, just fill in that gap and darken your line. So now I'm going to line my upper lash line. And I'm just wiggling it along my lash line. I don't go all the way to the inner corner because I have small eyes. I like for them to appear a little bit wider. And if I line in the inner part of my eye, it makes my eyes look more close set and it makes them look smaller. If you have hooded eyes or downturned eyes, that's probably a good thing to do because you lose lid space the more liner you have on because it covers your lid. And we're also trying to lift this outer corner and make your eyes appear more almond shaped. And if you do this, it helps lift that. You'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. So again, I'm just kind of digging this into the lash line. So you can see here, we kind of have this faint little line going. Can you see that? So what we're going to do now is take whichever brush you're using, whether it's this one or the angled one, the flat part of it, and just press it again almost straight across. And I don't really like to take it from the exact tip of the wing because I kind of feel like that makes the wing a little bit thick, maybe a little bit, a millimeter or two down from the wing. And I just take it and stamp it right there. Straight across, and it's not going to come all the way up here, it's just going to go right there. And see, that does not look perfect at all. That's okay. So I stamped it. I'm not raising my brows are relaxed. And this is where, if you're using that flat brush to begin with, the refining comes in with the angled brush. So then I kind of get my point a little bit straighter here. And I just connect it. And I really honestly don't care what it looks like when it's closed. It's when it's open. Now see, there's folds here, and you're just going to stamp it right over those folds and then connect it. You just want to be very relaxed. And you can see it's going right over those folds when your eye is open, and then when it's closed, it's fine because we connected that line. So I hope that you could see that, but I mean, you know, it's nothing too technical, but because you use shadow, it's so much easier than using liquid or gel. I am adding this part in at the end of the day. That's why the lighting is a little bit weird, but I wanted to throw this part in, and it wasn't planned, but I have been messaged by a few people on Snapchat and on Instagram after I announced that I was doing this series, and just talking about hooded eyes and downturned eyes and how they didn't realize if they had them or not and what the difference was. And so I just wanted to throw this in here. And I know I have makeup on now, so it might be kind of hard to see. If you look at the curve of my eye here, it's not downturned. So you wouldn't think that I have downturned eyes. So if you guys have seen me do any kind of foundation review or tutorial and I don't have eye makeup on yet, you see the curve of the eye goes downward. People with almond shaped eyes, it's more straight, even, and straight across, and they have no problems doing any kind of eyeliner if they want to just smudge this line out and follow the lash line and just do this really cool smudge effect without doing anything up here. It looks great. When I do that, it makes my eye droop. And you may have this problem and not even realize why it's doing that, because when you follow this outer corner, it makes your eye droop. So that's what happens. And also, if you look at the curve of how my socket, my crease actually falls, which is deep in there because my eyes are kind of deep set, that curve goes downward as opposed to just being this nice little curve that's easy to work with. So I'm always having to do eye looks that kind of make the eye look more lifted. That's why my eyeliner is always a little bit angled upwards. Even when I smudge it up so that when I'm trying to get a little bit closer, I smudge it upwards so that I'm almost creating the point of this outer corner myself and making it go where I want it to go. And with hooded eyes, I know a lot of people say if you can see any mobile lid, you don't have hooded eyes, but there are varying degrees of hooded eyes. If your crease is set to where if you place a crease shadow in your actual crease and then you open your eyes and you can't see that color anymore, you do have somewhat of a hooded eye. It might be deep set, but you do have somewhat of a hooded eye because you see hood, and you may see some mobile lid, but that just means you have a different degree of a hood. You do see a lot of hood, and if I just put a color in the crease, when I open my eyes, that color is going to completely disappear. So I have to bring shadow up in this area or use a transition shade so that you can see anything on my hood at all. So that's just a little bit of an explanation, and I hope that didn't make this video too long. Well, if you notice the lighting looks a little different and I might look a little more worn down than I did earlier in the video, it's because I left the house this morning and completely forgot to film an ending to this video. I filmed 3 different videos in pieces parts and this just got completely skipped over. So please forgive me. It was just a long morning and kind of all over the place. So if you do want to see how to get the rest of this look, that video will be posting maybe today. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. And if you want to know how the new Maybelline Cushion Foundation holds up on combination skin that gets oily in the T-zone, that's going to be coming up shortly too. That is what I have on my face today. And it's been about 9 hours now. So thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this first installment in my ongoing eye series that I am just starting with this inaugural video. And they'll all be a little bit different. Some will be using shadow, some will be using pencil. I might do gel and liquid too. It will just be very down to earth, very real, very easy techniques that I have used and tried and have worked for me over the years. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. And if you're not following me on my social media, I'll put it on the screen and in the description box below. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.